We are coming to you tonight from my own hometown, the borough, just down the street from Yankee.
Hasanabi hit Chris Hayes doing a Mamdani piece.
Stadium. And for the next hour, some other folks who live here, are going to talk to the man who just a little over 100 days ago stepped into what some have called the second toughest job in America, the mayor of New York City.
Okay, just leave the straight closes position. I think we're in our suicidal arc. I think the United States of America is on its arc. So is Israel. And we're basically fucking attached to the hip to the country, so it makes sense.
New York City is so much bigger than you think. 8.5 million people, 100 different ethnicities, speaking 200 different languages, the largest Jewish population outside of Israel, the largest Muslim population in the hemisphere, the largest Chinese population of any city outside of Asia, more black residents than any city in the U.S., the most billionaires, billions of others living below the poverty line. And believe it or not, more Trump voters than in any one of a dozen red states that elected him. This past November, this city, for its 112th mayor, chose this guy.
How's it going, guys? Do you have 60 seconds to talk to us about the election?
Zohran Mamdani came from near obscurity to change the way winning campaigns are run.
New York, will you accept this rose?
With a populist message to do something about the cost of living.
How about the cost of living?
Sucks.
We're going to make buses fast and...
His rise made him a rock star on the left and a boogeyman on the right.
We put in a communist.
No one is safe.
I have friends of mine in New York. They are officially depressed and scared.
And even if he's managed to tame the man in the White House,
We agree on a lot more than I would have thought.
in the end, he's still got to run this city.
I've been watching you.
Tonight, All In comes to the Bronx for a special town hall with the mayor and the people. This is All In America with Mayor Zohran Mamdani.
Good evening from the amazing Bronx Children's Museum. I'm Chris Hayes. This was the front page of the New York Post the day Zohran Mamdani was elected mayor of New York City. The red apple. Very good at that. It's the culmination of one of the most improbable political stories of the Trump age. A grassroots progressive campaign like no one had ever seen before, with more opposition from Republicans, from a Democratic political dynasty, from the president, from the media that we'd ever seen. And he won with a laser focus on a core affordable for the people who live here. It's been a little over 100 days. The city has not fallen into communism just yet. But he does have a job to do.
Boo.
We've invited an audience of New Yorkers to join us here, some of whom voted for this mayor, some who didn't. Some are supportive of his policies and others are not. But this is New York, so no one is ever going to be shy about sharing an opinion. And the mayor isn't shy about hearing that. So let's welcome now Mayor Zohran Mamdani. Good to see you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you for having me.
No, it's not live.
I wore a suit so I can match your energy.
Thank you.
You know, you were an assembly member just like maybe the last time I saw you, actually, and just a few months ago. It's a very different job than this
Can
job.
you get captions, please? No.
What's the biggest thing you've learned? The biggest realization?
Oh, never mind. You can get
actually
captions.
Being in that position.
You know, I think the biggest thing, first and foremost, is that New Yorkers' trust for all of the big ideas that we have about delivering universal child care, about making the most expensive city in America.
By the way, in half an hour, I will be talking to Trita Parsi. Trita Parsi will be on the broadcast again. We'll be talking about where the ceasefire is going, who's winning, who's losing, all that stuff. And yes, I turned the volume up a little bit.
Affordable for working class people who help keep it running. That trust starts when you fill in those potholes. Because you can't tell someone to trust city government in its ability to deliver free childcare for 2-year-olds for the first time in its...
I thought you were going to say Dave Smith. What time is the debate? What time is the debate? Greek communists. I thought you were going to say Dave Smith. No, buddy. That's not how this works. We can't just I would debate him right now if he wanted to, but no, I have like actual serious analysts that are coming on the broadcast to deliver commentary on where we're at on, the news of the day.
History, if they can look out the window and see the same pothole unfilled as it was the day before, the week before, the month before, the year before. And so at the same time that we've been pursuing this agenda that would transform the lives of New Yorkers, delivering a pathway to universal child care on day 8, We've also filled in 102,000 potholes in that same 100-day period. We started to repave more than 1,000 miles of roadway. And all of this comes back from a belief that there's no problem too big, no task too small, and we call this pothole politics.
Well, there's this phrase called sewer socialism.
Yes,
it comes
sir.
out of the Milwaukee particularly, right? There's a number of socialist mayors in Milwaukee, and the idea that the only way you deliver on your ideology, whatever it is, no matter, and particularly if it's a radical one, is that you have to give people clean water and things like that. Are you informed by that tradition? Is that something you're thinking about?
Very much so. I think oftentimes people think of politics as an intellectual debate. Working people want to know if you can actually deliver for them. And one of those mayors in Milwaukee, their phrase was, go after it and get it. We've talked about this for long enough. New Yorkers want to see, can you actually deliver on these things? And they want to measure it in the way that they experience government on a day-to-day basis. That's why we're focusing on the little things while also pursuing the big ones.
Do you think that you have, you are, Mayor of New York is always somewhat of a national figure, kind of. They also never have a national career in politics. Those two things I think are related. It's a tough job to come out of everyone being like, that guy's awesome. Do you feel like you're carrying an ideological burden for the flag of democratic socialism, which you proudly are, right? And you're the most...
I don't give a shit how he answers this question. The answer is yes, okay? I don't care if he says it, if he says the truth, or if he lies. I will not be. I'm telling you right now, the answer is 100% yes. He knows it. That's his job. That's why he was elected. And he fucking absolutely knows that that is the position that he currently occupies.
Most powerful democratic socialists in the country, to whether things go well here or poorly here as evidence of whether that's an ideology that is worth anything.
Well, I think it goes back to what you were saying earlier, which is that the worth of an ideology is judged in its delivery. And to me, this is an incredible opportunity. We've been told for so long, even over the course of the campaign, that things like universal child care could never be done. On day 8, I stood next to Governor Hochul.
Oh my God, people got tears in their fucking eyes, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Announced $1.2 billion in funding that will now, for the first time in New York City history,
I feel like people are watching and they're tearful.
Deliver free childcare for 2-year-olds. And that is something that you don't have to explain to a parent.
Right. But you got 2,000, just to be clear, you got 2,000.
Chris Hayes is, he's not a bad dude, for the record. Once again, Hasanabi head. He's asking that question, and it's a very good question to ask, because it is the goal here.
Seats. It's a big city, 8 million people.
2,000 seats this year,
right?
12,000 seats next year, and then every single 2-year-old by the end of year 4. And the importance of that.
By year 4, if it happens, right?
It will happen. This is not an inshallah promise.
Right, okay.
This is definitely happening. And I say that to you because, Senator Warren talks about child care as infrastructure. The way that you deliver this, it's not just a question of securing the funding. It's also working with the child care providers who have been at the heart of what's made it possible for so many families to be here and building out their capacity to deliver for more children than we've ever seen engaging in this kind of service in New York City.
Affordability, which we're going to talk throughout the hour, was the sort of central.
I was thinking about it.
Note. Yes. Well, you're very on message, which, to your credit. In the mayoral election before you were elected, and particularly coming out of 2020, 2021, there's a huge amount of attention on policing and crime, right? And we saw a big uptick in crime in New York City and nationally. We're seeing something pretty remarkable happening, which is basically the inverse.
Breaking Muslim mayor speak Arabic. Terrorist language. Terrorist language. How dare he? I don't like it. Scary.
And, you came out and celebrated the lowest homicide rate I think the city's recorded in many, many decades. But it's not just New York City. Mayor Lurie in San Francisco is going to take credit for it there. And Brandon Scott in Baltimore, Kash Patel at the FBI, and Donald Trump in the White House are going around saying, hey, we've got the lowest crime rate ever because of what I did. What is your understanding or thinking?
Someone said, chatter, inshallah is Arabic. I mean, it's Turkish too. We say inshallah as well, but you say inshallah, its origination is Arabic.
For what is happening with crime in your city?
Well, I think there's a few things. We're seeing that our approach to public safety is working, and not just in a sense of a general decline, but to actually correct you a little, it's not just the lowest number of murders in the last few decades, it's the lowest number of murders ever in recorded history. Yes. The joint lowest number of shootings. It's a decline of crime across major categories by more than 9%. It's also not enough. New Yorkers do not measure their lives by statistics. They want to know that you are doing everything in your power to deliver public safety. And the importance of public safety, it's not actually divorced from the conversation around affordability. It's the cornerstone. It's the platform that allows you to do that work of affordability. Because if someone is not safe in their city, then
Yeah, inshallah is an Anne Hathaway reference.
that is the first concern they have, even before the other ones that we speak about.
I mean, let me give an interpretation of what I've seen, and you could respond to it, which is that progressive governance is impossible if people are scared. And progressive politics essentially become choked off. And what I've seen is you're someone who has had these commitments to fast and free buses and universal childcare. When you look at policing, there's things you've said you want to do. You want to get rid of this gang database, which is, you've been very critical of. There's a special unit that sort of polices protests you said you want to disband. The gang database is still there. The special unit that polices protests just
Cook him. Cook his ass. Cook this fraud, bro. Cook this handsome, smiling fraud. Hell yeah, Chris.
arrested a bunch of people at a protest. From the outside,
By the way, that's how you do a non-contentious reporting that is still productive. Yeah, I saw this. I was just texting Tim Dillon.
it looks like you basically said, look, I'm not going to touch the policing stuff. It's too dangerous, either substantively or politically. I'm going to focus on this other stuff.
Look at his face. He don't like it. No, but that's a good question. It's a good question that must be raised. There's a way to do it, and this is the way to do it, as opposed to the way that like Meet the Press was doing it, right?
And I'm going to let the commissioner and sort of status quo policing continue. Is that a fair characterization?
Both Hasanabi heads, by the way. I remember Zohran liking your Instagram post in 2021 when you wore the pink dress. Wait, really? Really? I mean, it's not surprising. He was a DSA New York guy. That's Hassanistan. Let's be real. But dude, you believe everything? That's not surprising. Zohran is, again, like I said, DSA New York. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. Chris Hayes is a Hasanabi head, though. I do talk to him a lot.
I wouldn't say so. I'll push you on it a little bit for a few reasons. One of the
He was not familiar with their stream when you talked to him last year. Maybe he was keeping it cool. I didn't think so either.
that I made the decision to retain our police commissioner was not just because of what she was delivering in terms of public safety, but also how she'd been able to uproot corruption from the upper echelons of the NYPD. We need a government that is not just efficient, but also excellent, one that can be trusted in the work that it does. Now, my belief in the importance of disbanding the Strategic Response Group, it continues just as strongly as it was during the campaign. The reason for that is I don't think...
How come you haven't gone on All In? I don't think MSNBC producers fuck with me. Let's just keep it at that.
We need to couple our response to protests with our response to counterterrorism threats. This is a modern conflation that has happened, and it's one that I'm committed to disbanding. The disbanding of it is one that we're going to do thoughtfully to ensure that we are also respecting the right to protest and keeping New Yorkers safe. But again, it's not an if for me, it's a when.
You've gotten a lot of attention for the relationship that you have cultivated with the president. You've been asked about this a lot. It is, I mean, I got to say, again, from the outside, it's an amusing thing to watch, particularly when you said to the reporter in front of him, like, no, he is a fascist. And he said, no, it's okay, go ahead and answer, you know. What's going on there? Like, what is it? Explain it. Why? How did this happen?
You know, when you were introducing this and we were stepping out, you were saying, these are New Yorkers.
It's a USB thumb drive I just mailed you. Send it to the mods.
And in many ways, one of the few things the president and I have in common is that we are both New Yorkers. For all of our political disagreements, we have one agreement of chief importance, which is that we love this city. And with the president,
he always
I'm
says
honest,
this shit.
I'm direct, and I try and always bring it back to what would actually benefit this city. So when I'm sitting there with the president,
bro. You
I'm
love the
talking about
city. We get
the
it.
opportunity to work together to
Trump
deliver
loves the city
more
too. We
housing
got
than
it.
we've seen in a single housing development since the early 1970s. I'm also speaking about the fact that I think that ICE raids are cruel and inhumane, and that the fact that that morning they had detained a Columbia student is part and parcel of why this is not something that is actually serving the interests of public safety. And so I gave the president a list of 5 names of people who were detained in or around Columbia. He called me 30 minutes after the meeting and said, I've made the decision to release the student that you brought up.
He's not happy with the new tax plan on the basically second homes for very, very wealthy people. He said, you're destroying New York. It has no chance. The United States of America should not contribute to its failure. It only get worse. The tax policies are so wrong. People are fleeing. This must change our ways and fast. History has proven this stuff just doesn't work. Thank you for attention to this matter. It did seem a little more in sorrow than in anger. He felt a little betrayed.
Well, I think the president knows exactly where I stand on these issues, and I know where the president stands on these issues. I ran a campaign speaking very plainly about the fact that in the wealthiest city in the wealthiest country in the world, it's unacceptable that 1 in 4 New Yorkers are living in poverty. And as we're facing a generational fiscal deficit, I believe it's only right to ask those who don't live in New York City, but who own a second home in New York City, and that second home is worth more than $5 million in New York City, to pay a little bit more so that everyone can afford to live here.
It did occur to me he might actually have to pay the tax.
We don't have exceptions in our taxes that we propose.
You mentioned ICE and you mentioned immigration. I mean, it has been notable that we've had this, trail of
You're just jealous that he shares something with Trump he will never share with you, precious. What is that? I'm jealous that he has a relationship with Trump and I'll never have that. Is that what you're trying to say? It's true. I am a little jealous that Trump doesn't call me. Or do you mean a love for New York?
elevated ICE enforcement and CBC enforcement.
You'll never be a New Yorker. You'll never be chopped cheese. I'm chopped unk.
CBP enforcement that we saw in Los Angeles, we saw it in Chicago, we of course very famously saw it in Minneapolis and the Twin Cities. There have been elevated ICE enforcement here in New York City, they've been at the courts and things like that, but we have not seen something like the operation in Minneapolis. Does that hang over you as a kind of sword of Damocles? Does it feel like it's something the president could threaten every moment? Do you feel like part of your relationship with him is staving that off, to be honest?
I mean, my relationship with the president is important to deliver for New Yorkers. And I've made it very clear to the president that increased ICE presence, it would just be an increase on what we've seen with ICE raids, which is just cruel and inhumane. I've also been honest about the fact that I think ICE is an agency that should be abolished. It's a modern creation. Our country has had answers to immigration long before we had ICE. And we also see that these kinds of raids, just a few nights ago, ICE detained a delivery worker. This is a man who came to this city with the dreams of building up a life for himself and his family. No active investigation, no warrant. He finished a Grubhub delivery and then was taken by armed, masked federal agents. That's what we're talking about here in New York City. It's the public school student, Dylan Contreras, whose family we worked with to ensure that he would come home. That's the kind of person that's getting detained in this city. And that's why New Yorkers are sick of this approach, one, frankly, of a complete absence of humanity.
Dave Smith responded to you. I know, brother. I know. Zohran and Trump have a relationship based around love. Yours is transactional.
Tomorrow night's White House.
True. Yeah, we got the White House Correspondents' Dinner that's taking place. Let's see what Tim Dillon had to say.
You're attacking Hasan Piker. You're fighting. It doesn't make any sense. Do you want to win? You will never win unless you let go of the anger. You have to let go of the anger. Stop being mad that Meghan Trainor lost weight. Stop being mad that Tucker Carlson criticized Trump. Stop being mad that Hasan Piker said things you don't like about Hamas. Whatever, who cares? I don't agree with Hasan Piker on a lot of stuff, but it doesn't matter. You have to lead by not being insufferable cunts. I'll say it again. You have to lead by not being insufferable cunts. Can you do it for 5 minutes? You'll never have a better opportunity. This motherfucker in a year and a half has lit the goddamn world on fire. If you lose the next election, pack the fuck up. If the Democrats don't sweep the midterms, pack.
Real Patriot facts. Zohran Mamdani liked the Hasan Piker I'm a whore. I don't think he did. That would be crazy. I don't think that's the case. I don't know how to open the likes. Oh, there it is. Hold on. Let me turn this off. The Hasan body pillow. Dog was vaporized. Yeah. You can't see it on browser. Phone is easier. Where did you guys get this from? Where did you guys get this information from? This is new information. I'm saying it wouldn't shock me. Well, that's not true. It would shock me. Yeah, it's not showing up. There is 125,000 likes. Chat, stop stun locking his dumbass. This was a necessary stun lock. It is a necessary stun lock. This will be new information. I saw it on r/Hasan Piker in the past. Don't be defensive when we joke back. Most of us are real ones. Here's the screenshot. This could be fake. This could be fake news. Stop policing likes. Rama Dawaji, fuck you, Hasan. I feel like if he actually liked this, our future mayor might be a Hasanabi head. I feel like if he actually liked this, he would have liked other shit too. Bro, I just checked that. Fuck you mean not true. Hoscord providing double proof. This is from my phone law. Control F, dumbass. Wait, what the fuck? Where is that post? I don't even know how am I going to fucking find this post to check on my own? That is crazy. He did Lamau. I just checked. I feel like you guys are gaslighting me because it's not showing up on my end. I didn't believe you. Hasanabi is real. Okay, this is definitely fake. That's not, you're faking it. Follow him back and first check again. This is funny because this means this motherfucker was a Hasanabi head and he's been keep playing it hella cool this entire time. You understand? Do you understand what you're telling me right now? What you're telling me currently is that I've now known this dude for more than a year, and he not once has brought this fact up until this very moment. If that's the case, if this is true, he's possibly the best chatter because he actually listened to you and acted like he's fucking normal. Hasi, that post seemed like a breach containment. I think lots of people saw it. Just checked and he didn't like it. Yeah, I think I think everyone is lying. Check again. I don't think I can see it. Like, I don't think I can see it on here. It's also too old of a post. Also, what are we fucking doing? Who gives a shit? That's messed up. You said chatters aren't friends. Yeah. See, it doesn't show up. Oh, shit. Okay, never mind. You were not wrong. It did show up. Okay, I guess you weren't lying. Bro, that's a post from 2021. Apologize to me and the other chatter right now. I apologize. This dude was an actual Hasanabi head. I thought that chatter played the long game. He played you. Don't get cocky, kid. Doesn't IG feed show you random shit like any other social media feed? I don't know when Zohran started following me. I have no idea. I remember you waited a whole day to confirm Hunter Schafer was a Palestine protest. You get your facts right? Yes. We don't giving a whole new meeting to 1,000 Mamdanis. Yeah. I hope you guys understand not to get all, brown parent with all of you, but you do understand that you just put this on all of yourselves. My expectation is that all of you will now join your local DSAs and become the next Zohran Kwame Mamdani, no matter where you live, right? You understand that, right? This means that you have a lot more work to do in order to be chatter of the year. I'm just saying. Motherfuckers be like, oh, I live in Canada. Who gives a shit? Okay, then join the... Okay. What? They don't have political parties in Canada? They don't have... You can't join your party, your local... You can't run for local office in Canada? They don't got that? Chatter of the year in my own universe. I don't need your validation. Okay, respect. Chatter of the year does not mean shit. 2025 winner is Mega Penis. Self-imposed title by himself. Megaphonics does not call himself Mega Penis. I smoke too much crack to be mayor. I don't know. Kind of feels like in Canada especially, that's a benefit, not a burden. He does on Discord. Bro saw Zohran liked your post in 2021 and immediately became a brown parent saying, why aren't we like Zohran yet? No, this actually kind of fucked me up. I'm not going to lie. Maybe it's just like, because I did not think this. I did not think that he was in this community at all from our interactions from the stream that we did together all the way to the last, year. So I still think it's probably like it's like me watching him on the Gravel Institute. It's probably like that. I will be asking him though, for sure, to be like, you were fucking watching the streams? You didn't fucking tell me? I wonder if there's any other. I wonder what else he has liked potentially. Anyway, not all the people who like your post are necessarily chatters. This man left the house. True.
Up. You have to win by not being insufferable cunts. I know it is hard.